Good afternoon. Hello, everybody, wherever you are in the world. It's a great pleasure to welcome you to this webinar. So it's being hosted by Education Advisors. We are consultants who specialise in advising families on choice of private school. Most of our work involves year-round placements or long-term academic school placements, but we do help a lot of families who are looking for high-quality summer schools run in the UK. So some of these families will be looking just for short-term programs, a couple of weeks to have fun and improve their English. Others will be looking at more serious academic programs to help their children prepare for entry to boarding school in the UK. So we're going to cover all the different types of programs today. I hope it will be a useful session for you, and there will be an opportunity to ask questions during the webinar using the chat facility, or at the end as well. You'll be able to address questions to our panelists, who I'll introduce shortly. And so thank you very much for joining us. The session is being recorded, so you'll be able to download a copy afterwards. So what we're going to cover today, we'll look at the different programs. As mentioned, a lot of programs are focused on English plus sports and activities. School preparation programs for children who are going to enter boarding schools here. There are also an increasing number of programs that focus on specialist subjects, including or in addition to English language test preparation, and we'll talk about a couple of really good programs later. And then there are university preparation courses, which tend to be specialist programs for students who are maybe interested in studying law or engineering or going to medical school. And we'll introduce a couple of those and show you where you can find a good selection of programs. We're obviously going to talk about accommodation and welfare, which is a huge concern for parents, particularly under the current circumstances. And I know our panelists will be able to answer your questions about those. And then finally, we'll have a look at how to choose a summer school, and we'll introduce you to our website and how to make inquiries and get advice about the best programs for your children. So it's a great pleasure to introduce our panelists today. So Caroline Marshall has been involved in international education for over 20 years. I first got to know her when she was working at DLD College in London. And since, well, Caroline now works for Academic Summer, which provides a really exciting range of academic summer schools for children. So thank you very much for joining us, Caroline. We're really, really grateful to have you here, and I'm sure that your expertise and experience is going to be very valuable for the participants today. Kirsten Bentley is the director, or she works as the program manager at the International Summer School at Sedbergh School, which is a fabulous boarding school in the north of England. Absolutely beautiful school with amazing facilities, which runs a very exciting range of English language plus activity programs. So thank you very much for joining us today, Kirsten.
Thank you.
So we'll come back to Caroline and Kirsten later, who are going to talk more about their specific programs as examples of what is on offer. So just a brief overview. The summer schools that we promote are very carefully selected programs, which we know are of high quality, where the children are very well looked after. Everything is considered and catered for so that the children have a fantastic experience and they're safe and happy, which of course is what all parents are looking for. Some of the children might be quite young coming to summer schools. They cater for children as young as 6. So parents understandably have a lot of questions, which I hope that our panelists will be able to answer later. So some of the summer schools are, like Sedbergh, are run by the schools themselves and often use the regular school staff, the teachers and the boarding staff, to look after the children and teach them over the summer. They may also, of course, employ additional staff to help with activities, etc. So Sedbergh is an example of a programme like that, which is run by the school on the school's own campus. And then there are specialist summer school providers like Academic Summer, which for many, many years have been working with the most prestigious boarding schools, using their campuses and facilities and running their own programs. So Caroline can tell you more about the structure of that. Programs are primarily for international students. Let's say the summer schools run in the UK, certainly the ones that we promote on our summer schools website are mainly for international students. And they do generally have a focus on improving their English language skills. But there are programs also for domestic students, for native English language speakers who want to brush up their skills in other areas or follow a special interest program. Most of the programs run for a 2-week minimum, but there are courses that are available for 1 week. And some children might stay for the whole summer and do a whole 8-week program. And the cost is it's a broad range, really. Some programs are a little less, some are a little more expensive, depending on the content, the facilities, etc. But we'll look in more detail later. That's just really to give you an overview. So one of the most popular type of course are the English Plus courses, available for children aged 7 to 18 who want to improve their language skills and take part in lots of sports and activities. Some of them are more focused on a particular activity, so they might be performing arts or tennis or football, for example, and others are more general programs. So I'm going to ask Kirsten now to talk a little bit about the English Plus courses available at Sedbergh. So over to you, Kirsten.
Thanks so much, Mary. Hi, everyone. So yes, my name is Kirsten Bentley and I work at Sedbergh. I'm the International Summer School Programme Manager and I joined the team fairly recently now, but in May last year. So we have taken the opportunity off the back of COVID to restructure our programme. In the past, if any of you have worked with us in the past, we ran a very generic English plus multi-activities course, which was hugely popular and very much enjoyed by all of our students. But we've decided this year to try and drill down a little bit more and expand the range of activities and offer to allow us to take really full advantage of our location and all the different things that are available to us in our area. So before I move on to those, just in brief, we are a school operated and school owned summer school. So we have full control over everything that we do. And of course, within that, there is a degree of flexibility as well. So whilst I'll talk to you about the different programs we offer, be aware that within that, there's always room for flexibility for our students. They can sign up to one, and if they want to switch when they come, they can do. So what do we offer? Well, we offer English plus multi-sports, multi-activities and outdoor adventure. This takes into account, we do a full English program of 15 hours of formal tuition every morning in the classroom. And then our students move out of the classroom and take part in a variety of activities and community engagements every afternoon, with 2 additional excursions every week. So our fees include everything. We try to keep things as simple as possible, and everything is all included, apart from some of the transfers from London, but that's something that we agree with an agent or a family direct. But in terms of prices, our English multi-sports and multi-activity programs cost £1,300 a week, and our outdoor adventure is £1,500 a week. That just reflects the range of specialist tutors that we need to bring in to run those specific courses. As you can see here on this slide, we run everything from drama, performing arts, to zorbing, volleyball, swimming, tennis, and then for those more adventurous kids, we've got things like climbing, caving, gill scrambling, and the water sports as well. So there is a full and varied range of activities on offer for all children, irrespective of their age. So from 8 to 17, they can take full part in a full range of activities. And yeah, that's probably the best I can say about the courses at the moment. I don't know, Mary, is there anything else that you would like me to?
No, I mean, I would just add to that For people who don't know anything about Sedbergh, the location is absolutely fantastic and perfect for all these outdoor activities. I mean, it's in the most beautiful part of England.
We're very lucky to be between the Lake District National Park and the Yorkshire Dales, so we do take full advantage of all the different activities that are on offer in our area. And I think after the last couple of years as well, I think the big thing about our location is that it's a very safe, cosseting environment. So, you know, we are away from an awful lot of distractions. We're away from a large number of people as well, which I think offers some sort of, I don't know, comfort maybe to parents who are slightly concerned. Certainly this year of sending their children away, because we're all, you know, we know that we want to offer their children the opportunity to go and have some fun, to develop their English, and they haven't been able to do that for the last 2 years, obviously. But within that, it's we've found that certainly with people we're speaking to at the moment, that opportunity to be in a just slightly quieter, safer environment has been has offered an awful lot of comfort, and it's something that we're hugely proud of and lucky to be able to make the most of, quite honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful holiday destination as well for people. So
absolutely, yeah. And we do have parents who will come and drop the children off with us for 2 weeks. They go off and have a nice time, and then come and pick the children up afterwards. It works quite well. So everyone can be accommodated.
I definitely recommend that people have a look at the school location. I mean, it's fabulous. Yeah. And we've got a short video now, which I'd like to show you just briefly to introduce some of the activities at the school.
Great.
My name is Jamie, and I'm one of the activity staff members here at Sedbergh School. We are here in Kendal, Lakeland Climbing Centre, with 18 boys and girls.
Apologies for the buffering. It's probably an internet problem. Okay. Who are climbing something for the first time. So we've got a mixture of ages. Some of whom are quite high right now, some of whom are on the ropes.
There's a really good range and big range of activities. You have, for example, golf, climbing, but you also have dance or art.
I think we'll bear with it because it is buffering reasonably quickly. She said, I was being optimistic.
Don't worry.
All right, let's move on from there now. So if we can come back to the video afterwards, we will, and it will certainly be on the recording for anybody who wants to watch it afterwards. So thank you very much for that, Kirsten. I hope that's given people an idea of the sort of course content available at an English Plus course. So let's just move on to the more academic courses now. So these tend to fall into the following categories. So there'll be courses for younger children, the age of 7 to 12, who are at prep school or elementary school. And then 12 to 14, the academic courses tend to focus on preparation for taking GCSE, IGCSE courses, but also suitable for children in international schools who may be following the IB NYP programme or any other programme indeed, and they just want a general boost to their academic skills and knowledge, as well as usually improving their English language. And then from age 15 plus, courses tend to focus on preparation for studying at higher levels, so A-level or the IB. And there are also some specialist subject courses available. So we'll show you the website later so you can get an idea of how to find a course that would suit you and your child. So a little bit about the subject specific courses. Lots of things on offer. Increasingly there are STEM courses, so science, technology, maths. Those are very popular. And then for maybe slightly older children, economics, law, medicine, etc. And then a lot of creative courses too, drama, art, filmmaking. So for children who want to really focus on areas that they enjoy and have a good summer holiday with friends as well. For older children, older students, I should say, and maybe looking at university entry, I'll just show you briefly the sort of thing that is on offer. So on our Best Summer School site, under academic schools, we have university preparation courses. See this, Imperial College London run a fantastic Global Space Design Challenge course, which is really popular for top science and engineering students who want to do something very unusual and exciting over the summer. There are courses at universities, Oxford and Cambridge, so university preparation summer school somewhere like Concord College, a fantastic academic school. So to provide more academic focus for students if that's what they are looking for. So we'll go back to the website at the end so you can have another look. Okay, so I'd like to hand over now to Caroline, who's an absolute expert in all these academic courses. And she's going to talk you through some of the programs available through academic summer. So over to you, Caroline.
Thank you, Mary. Hi, thank you for having me here. Yeah, so I have been at academic summer for the last 5 or 6 years, I think. And we, as Mary mentioned earlier, we move into really good, we work with really prestigious schools. So we move into the school during the summer. So we are really a summer school specialist, and we work all year preparing, get everything ready, and then we move into the schools. So again, we've got all this, everything's included, everything's on site, we're very safe, secure, everything's organized for you. So all you have to do is buy the plane tickets, and we'll meet them at the airport. This year in the UK, we are working with 2 schools. We're working with DLD College in London, and then we've got a school that's in the countryside if you prefer the more traditional, slower paced kind of school. So the one in London, it is, I don't think you'll find anything quite like it. It's right in the city centre opposite the House of the Parliament. But we have 24/7 student supervision. So students can't go out by themselves, but we do make sure we see and do everything in London. Or if you prefer the more boarding school type of environment, we've got that in Bristol, which is a school called Sedbergh. So yeah, we really attract lots of different types of students. So we're getting students we get British students, we have students coming in from all over the world. Our aim is to try and take them to the next level. So they may have been, they tend to come with a level of English, and what we're trying to do is just bring them up, make them more confident, not just confident with their English, but just with their general study skills, with their ability to communicate. So yeah, we start very young, actually. We start with 7-year-olds, and this is we call this our Adventurers program. In our Bristol school, students can actually board with us, and we do get boarders as young as 7 coming from China or Russia or Japan. And then in the UK, in the London school, we just offer it as a day school. We don't think it would really be that appropriate to have the kids boarding as young as 7 in London. So that tends to be British students who want to go somewhere do something productive during their holidays, or families that are on holiday. You can drop them off with us. They spend the whole day with us, and then you come and pick them up at the end of the day, having done your own sightseeing or shopping or something. So the classes here are really primary school type classes. So we use teachers, primary school expert teachers who know how to teach younger children. We use a methodology called CLIL, which stands for Content, Language and Integrated Learning. And the idea behind that is that students will learn English, and this is good for native speakers of English as well, because we will develop their cognitive and their communication skills through engaging them in something that's interesting to them. So we'll follow a project or a topic all week, and within that project, they will do maths, they'll do sciences, they'll do English. So they're learning all the time and just developing. So we apply this methodology in all our courses. So the next stage up is we do Explore GCSE, and this is for 12 to 14-year-olds. And these students will do, they'll study individual subjects. It reflects the GCSE level of education, where students are doing quite a wide range of different subjects. So for example, maths, social sciences, English. And then we've got the Engage with A-levels, which is quite special because students actually choose the subjects, and we've got a really wide range of subjects. So yes, students choose it, and again, because they're doing what they're interested in, they really engage, and then everything just falls into place. We find that, so we do get students that are thinking of going to study in the UK, or might just be thinking about it. So it's a really good taster. I'll give you one example of, we had one girl from Iran who had been told she was going to study at boarding school in the UK. She came in, she was so shy, she was nervous, she didn't think she could speak English. She was quite withdrawn. By the end of the summer, she actually spent 6 weeks with us, which is a long time. By the end of the summer, she was enthusiastic, she was contributing in class, she'd made friends, she was ready to go to her school. So yeah, it was a really good preparation for her. We also had, because we have the academic nature, we actually had some students are sent as a punishment. If they've been naughty throughout the year, then come to us. But it's actually really good in terms of, we teach them that learning can be fun, academic subjects can be fun. And so we had one particular girl I'm thinking of, she came and she didn't want to come, and within a day she would just had a new lease for life. And again, she was going on to boarding school, and she went with a positive attitude, and we keep in touch to see how they're going, and she's like thriving this year. So yeah, really good positive experiences for them. I would say my nephew actually came, he's from Scotland, so he's a native English speaker, and my sister said we can't call it summer school because he won't come, so we're calling it summer camp. When he came, he's like, I love maths now. So he fell in love with maths. And he had a wonderful time, made friends from people from all over the world. He's still in touch with them now. So yeah, I think it's a really good, positive, fun approach to academic education, that it really engages them. We do have our specialist programs as well for students that are more, they know what they want to do, so, or they think they know what they want to do, so we're giving them a taster. So we've got Get Ready for Medicine, Get Ready for Computer Science. So the Get Ready for Medicine program is actually taught by medical students, so they really know what's required to get onto the medical program. So we have students that start that about 15, because it gives them a good couple of years to really get their medical application together and think about what they need to do. And again, that really engages them, that to help them to understand what they need to do. So we do practical things as well. They dissect a heart, they dissect lungs, they get to do things in the class that they might not get to do during the year because there's not so much time in the curriculum. So it's quite practical as well. Before COVID, we were taking them to hospital visits. Not possible at the moment, but we do get a doctor to come in and spend a day with them, so they get all that. And then the computer science course is STEM related, so they get to do we do science, technology, engineering, maths, and relate it all back to computer science. They're doing things like app building, robotics, everything that I don't understand, but it's a really good, inspiring course. I think I need to actually do this course because it's so important. And the IELTS course is a little bit different in that it's just a 1 week course, because with IELTS it's all about just nailing the technique and understanding what you need to do to get the best results possible. So we spend a week working on the speaking, all the different components of the IELTS exam, and going through exam technique, giving them tips, and then at the end of the week they just take that exam. A lot of times students like to mix it with other courses, so they use the time to improve their English, and then that final week they just concentrate on IELTS. So yeah, that's kind of what we're doing with our academic courses. It's not next level up, and really, I think it's a really positive experience, and it's really immersive. So they're forced to kind of get on with it. So they leave more confident with not just their speaking, but with their general study skills, their general life. We do a Be a Leader course as well alongside everything. So we're kind of teaching them teamwork, communication, leadership skills as they go through the course. So yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks very much for that overview, Caroline. Yeah, it's really great to hear how children can get inspired by, with their academics if they're in a fun environment where they probably don't feel the pressure of having to pass an exam at the end of it, just sort of learning, the joy of learning.
It's learning for the sake of learning, and rather than to get an exam. So
it's great. So Caroline mentioned IELTS a little bit at the end. So this is becoming quite a popular course, I think, for students. The IELTS test, for those of you who are not familiar with it, is it's an international English testing organisation, which I mean, a lot of all universities in the UK will require an IELTS score from international students without English as a first language, and a lot of sixth forms also are very interested in IELTS scores for students applying for boarding for sixth form. So Sedbergh also offer a slightly longer IELTS programme. Perhaps you could say a little bit about your programme, Kirsten.
Yes, absolutely. So we do run an IELTS programme as well, and rather than sort of the crash course over 1 week, we do it over 2, just so that the children have the opportunity to, as we discussed before, take part in a whole range of activities alongside that sort of in-depth academic study. And we found that sort of worked well in the past, so we're sticking with that model for the time being and carrying that forward. We opened that up for children between the ages of 13 and 17. Formerly it was for children between the ages of, or students between the ages of 15 and 17, but we've just sort of widened that sort of age gap this year a little bit. And then this year we're also introducing Cambridge B1 preliminary for schools, for some of the younger children who wish to have a more formal academic English programme to follow. And once again, this is a fixed 2-week course run between the 10th and 23rd of July this year. And they will follow a similar programme where it's syllabus learning in the morning, and then community engagement activities and multi-sports and everything, and the fun activities in the afternoon, for want of a better word. Our new and sort of most exciting programme, I think, from the Sedbergh perspective this year is Lyra, which is our Leadership and International Relations Academy. And this has been born off the back of the information that industry is giving to us again and again, and Caroline just alluded to it then, where as we become more automated as we go into the future, children or our students need to be well versed in what we call soft skills, but actually they're not soft skills at all. They're absolutely fundamental skills to set them up for their futures. So we are running a bespoke, what we believe to be a very transformative 2-week program this summer, which is all focused for 15 to 17-year-olds, all focused around developing those soft skills. So whether that's self-awareness, self-confidence, initiative and resilience, working on team working skills, communication skills and problem solving. So it's a fully progressive, immersive, for want of a better word, experiential course and program. And within that, it's being taught more like it would be in a university, so seminars, workshops, but then equally we're going to take them outside and use our location to help with to take part in a range of activities that will then reinforce what we are delivering within those workshops and those seminars, or in that classroom based learning that happens sort of during the day. So it will be quite intensive. As I say, it's for 2 weeks, again between the 10th of July and the 23rd of July, but we really feel that this is going to give them that kickstart for those children who are looking at maybe going to the workplace rather than university, or wanting to go on to study in university. It gives them that opportunity to sort of walk into a room and say, this is me, here I am, this is how I think, this is what I believe, and they have that confidence to take their strengths and their weaknesses and work within a team and know how to get the best out of the people around them whilst they're in those different scenarios. And it's something that we're really excited about. We're bringing in subject matter experts to actually run the whole program for us. So we're building it with them at the moment, and it promises to be really exciting. We've got a lot of interest in it, and all being well, this is then something that we will then build on and offer more regularly. We're looking into whether we can offer it as an online option, and equally as something that we can take to other schools, whether in the UK or abroad as well. So there's a lot to do with it, and a lot to look forward to. But for this year, just off the back of COVID, we're just going to be running it in the UK for 2 weeks in July, and then there'll be more information available on it thereafter.
Great, that sounds a really exciting programme. Can I just ask Kirsten, because I expect a lot of people watching maybe have the same question, would this programme be suitable for native speakers of English as well?
Absolutely, yes. Okay. And we think it's really important to have a full range of students, so native speakers, international students, to really have that sort of broad experience, you know, for them to get the best out of this course. We want to have everybody involved. So yes, it's available to children who are native speakers and based in the UK, or for those who are based abroad. International students based in the UK, maybe who can't get home over the summer, who want to do something different. As I say, if they're between the ages of 15 and 17, we would love to see them.
Brilliant, thank you very much. So I realise I'm probably jumping around a little bit here, but we have got a video to show of some academic summer students. So I'm going to try it and hope that it will buffer okay. Bear with me if not. I apologise in advance, Caroline, if we can't share it, but let's have a look. So it's nice to see these programmes in action.
I really like the atmosphere here because everyone is really ambitious. They have really big plans for the future.
Medicine is like my whole entire life. I just want to learn more about my subject and how to get there.
I wanted to improve my maths and English skills.
I want to be more organised, and obviously I want to learn a lot, as the GCSEs are next year for me.
I knew the facilities were great here, and I really wanted to improve on my subjects as well as have some fun during my summer instead of just sitting at home.
I wanted to study subjects that I don't have back at school, see if they are interesting, if I would be interested in studying that at university.
I feel like academic summer has really pointed me in the right direction, showed me how to get into good universities, how to write a personal statement.
At the end of this week, I will get a certificate to prove my level of English. It's very useful to get to an English university.
My favorite lesson is when I do science, because we once tried to do an explosion.
I'm really enjoying physics at the moment just because I'm not good at it, but I'm starting to understand it.
It's not as paper and pen textbook as school. It's a lot more practical and exciting.
They combine fun and education, and I think that's very important.
It's an incredible experience, and it's something everyone should try, whether it's just for a week or 6 weeks.
I think it was probably one of the best summer experiences I've had so far.
It's even better than I was hoping for.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we were able to show that. I think
thank you.
Overview of you know what it means to those children to have such a great experience over the summer. So moving on to something which I'm trying to close this. Something which I know will be of great interest to the parents watching particularly. So I'll just run through this, and then perhaps I could get both Kirsten and Caroline to expand on some of these points. So as we said before, the programmes are run on the campuses of some of the most prestigious schools in the UK, and the facilities are second to none, and the accommodation is always of very high quality. Usually children have shared study bedrooms, although some of the older children in some schools may have single rooms. And if that's something that's important to families, it can be requested. We can't always guarantee it, but I think schools will always try to accommodate any particular requests if they can. Meals are all provided, so these programs are generally all inclusive, so you don't have to worry about your child being fed or having to fend for themselves at all. Some schools will also give access to kitchens so that the children can prepare little snacks if they want to, but basically all the food is always included, and it's usually of very, very good quality. There will be live-in parents, live-in house parents who will be looking after the children 24/7. They will get to know the children, make sure that they're creating a fun and safe environment for them all, looking out for them, making sure they're okay, and being a point of contact with the parents as well if there's any emergency or any need to be in touch. Medical issues clearly are very much at the forefront of people's minds at the moment, so perhaps, you know, I can ask Kirsten and Caroline to expand a little bit on that and the provision that you've had to make during the pandemic. But there will always be qualified medical support on hand. And I think Caroline alluded to this as well, the airport transfers. Lots of parents are really worried about how their children are going to get from the airport to the summer school, particularly if it's a long way away from an airport. This is always arranged by the summer schools, provided children arrive on the set dates and leave on the set dates. It's usually very straightforward. For children who arrive at different times, I always know some sort of supervised taxi service can be organised. Caroline, perhaps I could hand over to you first. Are there points there that you feel you'd like to expand on?
Yeah, I think that I'm just trying to think. Yeah, so we did run in 2020 and in 2021. So throughout the pandemic, we ran. We have a very, just before the summer, we'll revise our risk assessment to make sure it's as up to date as possible. 2020 was very different to 2021 because we weren't testing in 2020, so we assume nobody got COVID then. But we actually, and I think you'll find most summer schools do take out insurance for their students. So every student that if they're traveling from overseas, if they're already based in the UK, perhaps not, but then they have access to the NHS anyway. So I know academic summer we have got quite comprehensive insurance that covers, even covers cancellation. So cancellation for reasons outside of your control, you would be covered. So if you did catch COVID and couldn't travel, I don't know what's going to be this, if that's even going to be a thing this summer. But yeah, we also have, so we've got the on-call nurse who's employed by us, but we do, the insurance actually offers a doctor service, so we can make an appointment with a doctor if necessary. With the school in DLD, it's actually across the road from one of the best hospitals perhaps in the UK, in the world, I don't know, but it's directly across the road, so in case of any emergency we do have that as well. But yeah, we, being in the centre of London, actually I can really appreciate that parents might be frightened of that, but we offer very, like, our student staff ratio for when we go out with the little ones, it's 6 students to 1 adult. When in the classrooms with the little ones, it's 12 to 1. When it's with the older ones, it's 15 maximum to 1, but usually we have about 10 to 1. So we've got a very good ratio. They are allowed free time because it's a very packed schedule actually. So there isn't a lot of free time, but we do allocate free time because we know that they need to go shopping and things like that, and they are teenagers. So but it's controlled free time. So if we're out, say if we go to Oxford Street, we'll have many members of staff in a meeting point, so students can easily come back to them. They're not allowed out in the evenings on their own. If we go out in the evenings, they'll always have to be with a member of staff. So it's not like, oh, they're in London now, they can go. And we do have the same rules in all our schools. So yeah, at the moment you put them on the airplane, we'll be at the airport and we are responsible for them, and we'll look after them from the moment they arrive in the UK. A lot of parents choose to send their kids by unaccompanied minor on the aircraft. So the airline brings them to us at arrivals and hands them over. So, and then we'll hand them back at the end. So yeah, very safe yeah.
Great, thank you very much, Caroline. Did you want to add anything there, Kirsten?
Not really. Very similar to Caroline, we offer the full service in terms of airport transfers and picking up the children. So whether you're flying into London or Glasgow or Edinburgh or Manchester or Liverpool, there will always be someone from Sedbergh there to pick your child up and bring them back and escort them directly back to Sedbergh. We are also able to offer a concierge service where we can send a member of staff to a foreign airport, for example, if that's that's what's required by a family. Generally, we ask for there to be more than one child. And it would be more of a sort of a group situation, not that it's a group booking, but several parents maybe whose children are coming together, and we will send a member of staff to pick them up at the airport overseas and then escort them all the way back to Sedbergh. So that's something else that we've started to offer as well. And at full agreement with Caroline, we are all really aware, I think all of us involved in the summer school setup these days are hugely aware of the welfare requirements and the uncertainty that's going to come, not just this summer, but for the next, maybe potentially for the next couple of years. So we have full access to a nurse, we have full access to a full medical centre that's on the edge of the campus. Because with a boarding school, we have everything there and on site. So we find that does offer reassurance to our parents. But equally within that, we have a full team of house parents and assistant house parents and specific welfare support whose job is solely there to make sure that our children are as happy as possible. So if there's anything at all of concern, or if anyone's just feeling a bit upset or homesick or nervous or whatever it might be, or they're just finding it hard, because let's face it, after 2 years where they've been at home and they haven't been subject to these sort of wildly different social situations and experiences, we are fully expecting there to be not problems, but for children just to find it harder, I think, this year. And so we have a very dedicated welfare support team who are on hand to make that transition as smooth and as comfortable as possible, and to offer the support, as much support as is required, and equally to liaise with the parents and the families of those children throughout their entire stay, so that we can make sure that everybody is as well taken care of as possible. Sorry, I think that's my phone, my online phone ringing. I do apologise.
No. Okay, thanks very much. Thank you, Kirsten. Okay, if anyone has any questions regarding sort of safety, welfare, accommodation, etc., please put them in the chat and we will come back to our panelists at the end. So finally, I'd just like to show attendees our Best Summer Schools website. So this list, amongst academic summer courses and the Sedbergh courses, we list a range of, as I said, high quality programmes. So you can go on to bestsummerschools.co.uk. The courses are divided into categories, so the English Plus and the academic are the main ones, and then we have some online courses and tutoring and revision courses as well that we list. So we have a look at the English Plus. So if you were looking for a particular course, different locations, so we list them by school. So you see there are different schools, different providers. So if you wanted to get more information about the Sedbergh School, so you can read more about the programme here. So there'll be a brief description on the website, and if you'd like to have more information, you can create an inquiry basket. So I'll just put Sedbergh in there for, oh no, let's add some more. So you might also be interested in an academic school. So let's have a look, see what we've got for under 12s here. So you have Sedbergh again, 8 to 12 junior course. So here we go, DLD London Academic Summer. So as Caroline mentioned, for younger children, this is a day programme rather than a boarding, but let's get some information about the programme. So you can add that to your inquiry and then proceed to your request, because you can add up to 3 more. And then we ask parents to complete a brief inquiry form with your contact details, your child's details. the dates that you require, and any specific requests. It's very useful if we have as much information as possible here, so that we can really kind of tailor the programs. And also the course providers will be able to respond to any particular requests that you have. When that's submitted, it will go directly to the summer schools, but we'll also get a copy so that we can follow up if necessary and help you. And that's basically how the site works. You'll see it's divided into different categories. There's no charge at all to families for making inquiries, and the schools will generally get back to you very quickly with more information and tell you how you can book. And they're always happy to answer your questions. If you're really not sure what the best option would be, or you just like some general advice, you can complete our summer schools inquiry form, which will come to us and we'll get back to you straight away and recommend what we feel would be the most suitable courses for you. So it's a fairly straightforward program. Fairly straightforward process. There are a lot of programs here. We're updating the site regularly, and you can be reassured that all the courses that we introduce have been thoroughly checked by us, and we're confident that they offer the high quality that you will be looking for as families. So I'll close that down now. So we're all here. We're very happy to answer any questions that you may have. So I'm going to actually hand over to Duncan now, my colleague who's been in the background here, and ask him to address any questions to our panelists. So over to you, Duncan. Have we got any questions? Oh, you're on mute, Duncan.
Did you mute me, Mary?
I did not mute you. You're on mute now.
Yes, thanks all for going through that with us. We did have a few questions come through the chats that I've been trying to answer. One question was, if somebody's considering A-level options for 2023, so they're going to have to make their choices towards the end of this summer, is there a good summer program where they could perhaps do a bit of a taster of different A-level courses? Open to anyone really who fancies answering that.
I would say, well, I know academic summer, yes, for sure. Students can choose up to 4 subjects a week. So they could come, choose 4 subjects. They can come, if they came for 2 weeks, they can do the same 4 subjects, or they could try some different ones. So yeah, dip their toe in the water and see what they think. And then because the teachers are subject specialists and tend to be teachers of those subjects at schools, they're there to ask questions and see what they think. So yeah, that would be my recommendation.
Great, yeah, thank you. So they could, I mean, potentially then they could come for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and then just mix and match different A-level kind of classes week by week.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, all right, great. I think, Caroline, you did mention that for younger children, it's usually 12 in a class and 15 for the older students. Kirsten, is it similar in Sedbergh as well?
No, absolutely it is. I think our standard ratios is usually 1 to 15, but those younger children usually have the 1 to 12, and actually in some situations, if they need more linguistic support, we can reduce that further. So it's very dependent on the group that we have in front of us. They're all tested as they arrive. They undergo a little testing, just so that we can make sure they're all put in the right groups, essentially, according to ability. So we have flexibility to be within that. But ordinarily, yeah, you'd be looking at 1 to 12 or 1 to 15 for some of the older pupils.
Okay, right, perfect. Thank you. What about visas now? Could someone please explain it? I know it always changes every year. Could anyone help us about visas, please?
Caroline, do you want to start off on that one?
Yeah, so visas, I'm not actually applying for them. So from my point of view, it's become easier because now that we're not in the EU, well, it's not becoming easier really. Basically, students from EU countries and then what they call highly trusted countries. So off the top of my head, America, Malaysia, Japan, and they can still just arrive at the border. This is just and then they get a visitor. So it used to be that students would need student visitor visas, but now they just need visitor visas. if you would check the UKVI website, or you can ask like whoever you're dealing with at the summer school. I would be able to help advise that to particular things. But there's actually a thing on the UKVI website where you just fill in a few questions and they'll tell you if you need to apply for a visa before you travel. But there's quite a lot of nationalities that just turn up at the border, say what they're doing. You should certainly carry the documentation to show what you're doing and to show that you're paid and to show that you're going to be looked after. And then you just get a stamp at the border and come through. But then there are some nationalities that need to apply for a visitor visa before they travel, and that visitor visa used to be a student visitor visa, but now it's just a visitor visa, and you are allowed to study short term on this visitor visa. Then we have our students that are going on to boarding school. They might already be sponsored by their school. Academic summer, we don't sponsor students because we're not a tier 4 provider. But we do have a number of partnerships with different boarding schools, so they can come on a pre-session, and it would mean that they would just need one visa to come to us. But I'm certainly happy to, like, it's different for different students, but yeah.
Thank you very much. I think that's really a key point, Caroline, that it is different for different students. So depending on where they're coming from and what their ongoing study plans are, we would have to handle that on a case-by-case basis, and if necessary liaise with the school that the child's going to go on to afterwards. Something that we can help with on individual cases. Did you want to add anything there, Kirsten?
No, I think Caroline's covered it all, other than I think Caroline will do the same here, because I think most of us do, that if you require any supporting paperwork, so just to confirm where you're going and where you're going to be and whose care you will be in, as Caroline just mentioned, we'll provide that full support in terms of letters from the school and letters from us to support that process, so that it will be as smooth and easy as possible.
Thank you. Were there any other questions there, Duncan?
No, we're pretty much all done. I think the others have all been answered as they were coming in, so yeah, I think that's great. Thank you.
Brilliant. Well, it just remains to thank Kirsten and Caroline very much indeed for joining us today. I hope everyone attending found it useful. We've got our website details here, and email address, phone number, if anyone would like to follow up with any additional questions. Always happy to help you, and thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you
for having us.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.